Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Commander's Crypt. I've got an awesome video for you today. Today, I've got the top 25 cards of Outlaws at Thunder Junction. I love this set. Very strong. That's why I've got 25 cards that I'm featuring. It's an extremely strong set because it is doing a bunch of reprints of very strong cards. But before we talk about that, how would you like to receive a free box of food? I myself have used HelloFresh for months, and I love it. Me and my fiance cook the meals together. They're fun, fresh, fast, and easy. If you're interested in getting a free box of food, send me your email address to this email address here that says I'm interested, and I'll get you set up. You'll get the first box free, and then you can cancel at any time. So without further ado, we will get into the video. So, Outlaws at Thunder Junction. I absolutely love this set. It's very strong. Very, very, very strong. And a lot of good cards, a lot of good reprints. First card we're going to talk about is Gitrog, Ravenous Ride. Frog Horror Mount, Trample Haste. Whenever Gitrog deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice a creature that's saddled at this turn. If you do, draw X cards. And put X land cards from your hand to battlefield tap. Very strong. So, for 5 mana, you get a 6/5 Trampler with haste. If you saddle him with just one creature, you get to draw 1 card. If it's a land, you put it right down. But if you put something bigger, saddle him up with that, then you get to draw that many cards. This would work really well in aristocrat decks where you need to sacrifice things anyway, and then you get to draw the cards, and you get to play the lands. Very, very strong. It ramps, draws you cards, and swings very fast. Puts out all kinds of lands. This would be a good commander, in my opinion, because with all the ramping, if he gets killed, you'll be able to keep just slapping him down because you'll have a bunch of lands on the field. Next is Vault-Born Tyrant. He's a dinosaur. Trample. Whenever he or another creature with 4 or greater power enters battlefield and you control, you gain 3 life and draw a card. When he dies, if it's not a token, create a token that's a copy of it, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. Very, very strong. So you play this guy for 7, and then he's basically a Garruk's Uprising. Every time you put a 4 or greater card down, you're going to draw a card and get 3 life. And it says enters battlefield, so it doesn't have to be cast. So, if you drop an Azuri's Predation, boom, you're going to draw a bunch of cards and go crazy. So I like this card. This is the 24th card that I really like from the set. Next is Archmage's Newt. He's a 2/2 for 2. He's saddle as well, and he basically gives you flashback for your spells. So he's basically a Snapcaster Mage, but he gives your spells a flashback cost of 0. Very, very, very strong. Next, 22, the Key to the Vault. For 2 mana and equip 2. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, look at that many cards from the top of your library. You may exile an online card from among them. You may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost. Crazy strong. Crazy strong. This set's extremely pushed. It's almost scary. Next is the Spree cards. I absolutely love these. The Spree instants in red, green, white, and blue are my favorites. And here we'll put them on the screen so you can read them all. Just to keep this video shorter, I will if you want to hit the pause button and look at each one of these, there you go. In my humble opinion, red, then green, then white, then blue is the power level of these Spree cards. And black has a Spree card, which we will show later. It is a sorcery, and it is very strong in my opinion. Next, Kurvek the Punisher. Whenever you commit a crime, exile up to 1 target black card from your graveyard and copy it. You may cast a copy. If you do, you lose 2 life. Very strong. Crazy strong. You commit a crime and you get to copy something that's a black spell out of your graveyard. That is crazy, crazy strong. As you know, it doesn't have to be all black. It could be black and white, black, white, and red, or whatever. Very, very, very good card. Next is Grindstone. One of my favorite cards ever. I remember when this came out in Tempest, I was picking them up all over the place. Nobody really messed with them. But then when Painter's Servant came out, that combo hit the scene, and suddenly the price of Grindstones shot up. So we got another opportunity to pick these up, another reprint. Next card is Archangel of Ties for 3 white and 1. Basically, it is a propaganda type creature. Again, white is in the color of permission and taxing. So this is what this angel does. It taxes your opponents to attack you, or taxes them to block you. I like this card a lot. Next is Overwhelming Forces, another reprint. This is a very strong card in Commander. 2 black and 6. Destroy all creatures target opponent controls. Draw a card for each creature destroyed this way. Imagine if your opponent's going crazy with tokens, and later in the game, boom, you make him wide open to attacks, and you draw a bunch of cards. Very, very strong, in my opinion. Next is Rakdos the Muscle. He's like Kurvek. He's flying and trample, 6/5 for 5, which is very strong. Whenever you sacrifice another creature, exile cards equal to its mana value from the top of target player's library. Until your next end step, you may play those cards, and mana of any type can be spent to cast spells. But then you get the sacrifice. He has a sack outlet. Sacrifice another creature. Rakdos the Muscle gains indestructible till end of turn. Tap it. Activate only once each turn. So you can make him indestructible. And then you can use cards and pay for them out of target player's library. I like it. Next is Tiny Bones the Pickpocket. Death Touch. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, you may cast target non-land permanent card from that player's graveyard, and mana of any type can be spent to cast that spell. Again, very strong. One black to cast this guy. 1/1 Death Touch. Scape Shift, another reprint. Sacrifice any number of lands. Search your library for up to that many land cards. Put them on the battlefield tapped and shuffle. For 2 green and 2, you can swap your lands around, and there's many combos that you can now do. Very, very strong. Next is the other spree card I was talking about in black, Insatiable Avarice. Its startup cost is 1 black, and then for 2 colorless, search your library for a card. Shuffle, put that card on top. Or another 2 black, target player draws 3 cards and loses 3 life. So for 3 mana, you can tutor. You can't use it till next turn, but if you have a way of getting it, that's great. Or if you have a way of putting that card directly into play, that's great too. Go check out my last video that I did on ways to cheat creatures into play with a Vivictus Asmati or a Tali Primal Storm. If you have 6 mana, you can tutor for a card, draw 3 cards, and now it's in your hand, plus 2 other cards, lose 3 life. Next, we have Transmutation Font. This is very interesting to me. 5, tap it, create your choice of blow token, clue token, or food token. Then 3, sacrifice 3 artifact tokens with 3 different names. Search your library for an artifact card, put it on the battlefield, then shuffle, activate only as a sorcery. Very strong. So you play this, then you immediately tap it, get your tokens. Next turn, you get to sack those tokens and search your library for an artifact card. Very, very good. With a card like Academy Manufacturer, this would really be a very good card, or with other cards that duplicate tokens that you make. Next is Sword of Wealth and Power. I love all the swords. I love these cards. That's why I wanted to talk about this one. It's another sword. It gets protection from instants and sorcery. So it's the first sword that I can think of that doesn't have protection from a color, but it has protection from instants and sorceries. And whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to player, create a treasure token. When you next cast an instant sorcery spell, copy that spell. That's where it's at. Very, very strong. This set is very pushed. The new cards of the set are very strong. I mean, because they are, copying legends. Legends are already going to be very strong. As you'll see, the top cards in this list are super crazy strong. The top card that I'll show you in this list is played in Vintage and Legacy. It's so strong. Terror of the Peaks is next. Very strong card. Get them while you can. I was picking these up for $5 a foil. Had I known they were going to, I got a few of them, but had I known they were going to shoot up to this kind of price, I would have bought a lot more. Very strong card. I love this card. One more way to War Storm Surge and start pinging your opponents for damage. Next is Stone Forge Mystic, another very strong card that they have reprinted. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for equipment card. One white, one tap it. You may put equipment card from your hand onto the battlefield. Very, very strong. Next is Mind Break Trap, another reprint. If an opponent casts 3 or more spells this turn, you may pay 0 rather than pay its spell's mana cost, exiling a number of target spells. This could be a free counter spell, but better, it doesn't counter spell, it exiles the spells. Next, Force of Vigor. I have some of these in my Legacy deck. They're so strong. They're basically the green Force of Will. If it's not your turn, you may exile a green card from your hand rather than pay this spell's mana cost. Destroy up to 2 target artifacts or enchantments. Very strong. Mana Drain. It upsets me that they are reprinting this. I have one from Legends, and anyway, if it's now's the time to go get these cards. This is an incredibly strong counter spell. Counter target spell at the beginning of your next main phase at an amount of colorless equal to that spell's mana value. Very strong, crazy strong. That's what it's reprints like this that make this set so strong. Next is Aven Interrupter, Flash Flying. He's another hate bear. When he enters the battlefield, exile target spell, it becomes plotted. It can't be cast on a later turn as a sorcery. So this is kind of a white counter spell in a lot of respects. If you were to cast this to exile another, let's say, counter spell, that's really going to screw up your opponent. Spells your opponents cast from graveyards or from exile cost 2 more to cast. So on top of exiling the spell, it then costs 2 more to play that spell later as a sorcery. Now we get to the top 2 cards, and to nobody's surprise, Oko the Ringleader for Simic 2. At the beginning of combat on your turn, Oko the Ringleader becomes a copy of up to 1 target creature you control until end of turn, except he has hexproof. I mean, how strong is that? Every turn you get to copy a creature you have. Okay, hello, Mr. Blightsteel Colossus. How about let's double our pleasure, double our fun. But wait, there's more. +1, draw 2 cards. If you're committed to crime this turn, discard a card. Otherwise, discard 2 cards. So you get to rummage. You get to dig for stuff. -1, create a 3/3 green elk creature token. And -5 for each other non-land permanent you control. Create a token that's a copy of that permanent. Crazy. Crazy strong. This guy is, Yoda said. And then the #1 card is Oko again. Oko, Thief of Crowns. When this guy came out, people couldn't believe that they made a card like this, but he goes in all the Vintage and Legacy decks. He's just 3 mana, Simic 1. +2, create a food token. +1, target artifact or creature loses all abilities and becomes a green elk creature with base power and toughness 3. Very strong when you're playing with opponents that have 0 casting cost moxes. And -5, exchange control of target artifact or creature control and target creature and opponent controls with power 3 or less. So there you have it, the top 25 cards of Outlaws of Thunder Junction. Tell me what you think. Very, very strong set. Very, very pushed. I like it. It's an opportunity for people to get the reprints that they weren't able to get before. So that's it. We're going to get on out of here. I hope you liked my video. We will see you on the next Commander's Crypt New Orleans. And one more thing. Check out these dice. If I have some of these that I had gotten, and if you can see, it's got the rings, the one ring in each of the dice. In my store, I sell dice like this, so go check it out. I think these are really, really cool. Look at the rings in there. So that's it. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I will see you in the next Commander's Crypt New Orleans.